I'm on the recovery end of whatever that was that my whole household had.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
excuse the voice and the nasal. This is not the day we're kicking Afrin. Let's just say that. Today is not the day where
Today's not the day.
today's not the day.
Okay.
No, so
All right.
we're in our Eagles gear today. Although we're wearing the Eagles stuff today, and the Flyers had an amazing win the other
I
night.
don't,
So,
yeah, I don't watch
I mean, I can't say that I watch a
football.
ton.
Wait, you can tell I don't watch any sports.
Holy
Well,
shit.
no, it's because I was looking at our Eagles gear. My brain said football when in actuality, that is not okay.
First of all, that
First
was
of all,
adorable.
we're struggling.
let's
Hockey, I'm
get
not
into
that
it.
out of touch. I know that the Flyers, I've been to Flyers games. Okay. I was so caught up in our Eagles gear that
That's right.
I
That's right.
just,
We were in our Eagles gear today, and I think the Sixers won last night. So I mean, we're having a good
they did win
we're
last
having a
night.
good time.
Yeah.
We don't want to jinx it because this won't come out for a couple of days now. So we're not jinxing anything.
Don't do that.
But
That would be
Kate is
terrible.
a diehard Flyers fan.
Die hard. Never miss a game, guys. Where's the football? Is that a touchdown? That's crazy. I'm ready now.
Today we've
I'm
got
serious.
the Trust Hangover, which means you have forgiven, but you cannot forget, right? Point being, have you ever had an experience where you said, I got over something, and then your nervous system is like,
JK.
but you have not. You are not, have not, will not get over this. So we're going to talk today about what that looks like. Okay, so trust hangover. When forgiveness happens cognitively, but emotionally, you are still
Ooh.
very invested in what occurred. Everybody's mind kind of goes to cheating, and we've talked about cheating sprinkled in different episodes, but I think everybody kind of goes to like the cheating when it comes to a trust hangover. But it can be anything.
Mine is like, could I trust you to bring my laptop when I forget it? And the answer was, I could.
You could. So there was no hangover left for that,
No,
right?
it was good. I was
But
A plus.
there's nowadays it's the I checked your location, like you turned it off. I can't trust where you are. You said you were going to come home and then you were a couple hours late. So it's not necessarily always these groundbreaking things, but they cause mistrust. And after a while, although you say, fine, no big deal, no big deal, what happens in the hangover part is it comes up again. It reemerges. Your nervous system gets triggered when things like that happen again. And so we kind of have a hangover from whatever the mistrust was to begin with.
Yeah.
Happens often in relationships.
No, listen, I can feel that.
We all can. So forgiveness does not equal trust reset. And so that's the first thing that we have to understand.
It's a very good thing to point out.
Right? And I think that's where couples get into trouble because if I forgave you,
I should be over it. Yes.
And you won't react to it again, and you won't be upset by it again if it occurs, or if anything occurs that is a little bit like it. But the truth of the matter is our brain doesn't work that way, and definitely our nervous system doesn't work that way. So if you have done something where I feel there was a trust issue, and then something similar is coming up, my nervous system starts to react, right? So I might start to actually say to you like, well, you need to be on time. We've got that thing this weekend. And you know how you were late. You made us miss that thing a couple weeks ago. And I was really upset about it. So you got to be on time. And you're over here going, I thought we did this already.
I thought we played this game.
Said I was sorry. It's over.
What the heck?
So those particular things, just because you forgive somebody does not necessarily mean that your nervous system or your entire idea of forgiveness is just locked in and loaded. It's not. We just don't work that way. It's not that simple. Trust rebuilding after an incident can take months and even years to rebuild trust.
It's been 84 years. Picture it. 1947, Sicily.
It's the truth. So if you have done something and your partner has been upset about it and they feel like it was a break of trust and you expect that forgiveness will equate to that next weekend or that your partner will magically just be over it because you forgave, we have to abandon that thought process. This can take a while to rebuild trust.
Well, I think also to your point, it's like, does trust, like rebuilding trust, like what does that have to do with forgiveness? They seem like two very separate things for me, like almost like they don't even live in the same house.
Yes.
Like they don't even go to the same dance.
And
you know
correct.
what I'm saying? Like it's just so different because really forgiveness is not like for the person, it's for yourself of like, I don't want to carry around like resentments or something like that.
Yeah.
So if your okayness depends on me forgiving or not forgiving you, we got a problem.
Yes.
Like that's a problem.
Yeah. And I think that in terms of forgiveness, what we have to start thinking of is there's a difference between I'm done punishing you for what you did.
Oh, is there a punishment
Right?
phase?
Yes, because a lot of times when
Oh,
people are
shit.
angry, there's that, like, I'm mad at you. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to speak to you. I am angry with you, right? Like
Oh,
you took the trust, and now the consequences, I'm like punishing you for it, right?
oh.
Instead of that, it's we have to move away from the punishment, right?
Yeah, we gotta phase that right out.
Because forgiveness is, I am actually going to stop the punishment phase. I'm not going to do that. But what we also have to understand is it does not then equal, I feel safe about this anymore. And that's the conversation that has to happen in between is I forgive you for what you did, but I don't necessarily feel safe about, and then it is what it is that I'm not feeling safe about, whenever that mistrust
Mm,
was broken. But the not feeling safe, and you're really good about that word. You use that word all the time in terms of feeling comfortably, emotionally safe. And
yep.
then that's exactly what we're talking about here is
Mhm.
it's okay to forgive somebody, to say, I forgive the mistake you made, but it made me feel unsafe about the situation that occurred. And so it's going to be a while and some consistency for that situation to occur again for me to feel safe.
Mhm.
So that's different than the punishment versus I'm not feeling very safe
Yeah,
emotionally.
if my nervous system said, "Hells no,"
Mhm,
from the first one, she gonna
mhm.
need a
That's
minute
right.
before she get to, like, "I'm not happy, but I think about it." Like, she just was hells no.
Right.
Like, we gotta give her a beat. We gotta
Yeah.
give her a couple beats.
Yes.
She
Yeah.
needs a minute.
And again, so that goes back to we're talking about some time. Like forgiveness might happen in the moment, but the building of the trust takes quite some time. Yeah.
Yep. And the building of the trust doesn't is not predicated on, like, we need forgiveness. You actually don't.
I think to go back to the cheating, which is often like the
Oh,
big one, yeah, that you might not ever get forgiveness for that. So it isn't predicated. Like
right. That's what I
if
mean.
you've cheated on somebody and you really still want the relationship to work and
Right.
you're still committed to it and you're trying, and you might not get forgiveness. So you've got to work on the changing behavior and making that person feel safe again because forgiving that event might not occur
And you can say we're not saying, like, you just stay in something where someone is actively, like, weaponizing some
or
old
punishing
shit
you
you did. That's
off
not
of
what I'm
them. Yeah.
talking about, right? But we can't control someone else's
Hmm.
emotional experience. I can't be
Right.
like, "Well, you need to forgive me." Your forgiveness is about the shit you holding on to.
Hmm.
It has nothing to do with me. So if you don't wanna forgive me, I hear
Hmm.
you. I got it. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Like, you figure out if
Hmm.
that works for you or not. But it's
Right.
like ultimately processing through the forgiveness, that's a you
That's right.
journey. I'm gonna do the journey on my part of, like, making amends and changing my behavior. But the forgiveness journey is really a kind of solo
Hmm.
experience, right?
Yeah.
Because someone could have done all the good things and you're like, I just still can't forgive.
Hmm.
Or this one just makes no sense to me. I will forgive, but I won't forget.
I do
You
not
are not,
understand that
you
either.
ain't forgiven. If
Yeah.
you're saying that, you
If
are
I will
not
never
forgiving.
forget you did this, we should probably just have the conversation
That
now.
is not
I
forgiveness. You
don't
did
get that
not
either.
forgive. That does not make any
Yeah.
sense. You could, why don't we just be honest and say, I know you ain't doing it right now, but I still got feelings about it.
Right. And I don't think I'm going to change those feelings and I'm going to hold them over your head for a while. So the
So
fact that
that's
I
where we
will
at.
never forget you did this is like, I'm not going to
I
forgive
ain't
you.
really forgiven you.
Yeah. I don't
It's what we
understand that
tell
either.
well, because there's such, I think, a focus on forgiveness as, like, an ultimate goal. Like, it's a
Yeah.
place we have to get to, we have to be able to get to, we can offer it to people, we
Hmm.
wanna get to a place where we're receiving it.
Hmm.
So I think that's why there's so much pressure. It's like, "Okay, I'll do it, but with this caveat." And it's
Right.
like, maybe that shouldn't be our goal.
Yeah. And what if it doesn't happen? Right. And that's okay. If somebody's behavior changed the way you feel, that's okay. But to play the forgiveness game and have that trust hangover just keep going on and on and on and on, it's torture for everybody.
That'd be rough.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I
I,
hear that.
I always say too, when we work with clients where there's been infidelity and there's cheating, if the person who cheated is very committed to resolving what happened and putting time and commitment into working on the relationship, then the relationship uh, lives or dies off of whether the other person can forgive.
I heard that I heard this interesting thing, in this book about cheating, and it was talking about how, like, someone, like, their needs are not getting met, but they're not expressing or even able to identify
Mm-hmm.
what their need is, and so they go try and get it met somewhere else.
I hear a whole bunch of women out there right now going, "Oh shit, he just cheated because he cheated."
Yeah, but that's not about the woman, like, that's not the woman or
Nope.
whoever the person that gets cheated on, that's not saying you're not doing enough or you're
Mm-hmm.
not giving that is 100% on the
Mm-hmm.
person, like,
Yes, it
if
is.
your need are not getting met in a relationship and you didn't say shit,
Mm-hmm.
that is on you.
Yes.
That is on you
Yeah.
and you alone.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't even give your partner an opportunity to meet your need because you didn't ever
Right.
express it.
And
Just to
sometimes
clarify.
the need is being needed by other people. There are a lot of people who just get so attracted to attention from as many people as they can get it from. And unfortunately, that is the need, which you're probably never going to express to a partner. Well, I just need to be wanted by a lot of people.
I have the opposite need. I want to not be noticed. I just want to like fly under the radar.
And there's some people, but there's some people who just, it's a need.
Yeah, no, I
Like,
hear you.
I've worked with couples and such where there's been a lot of infidelity, and when you get to the crux of it, like the person who cheated will just say, I just really like the attention. Like, I
Yeah.
just love the attention from other people. And
Yeah,
that's a need.
like, you know
It
what?
won't
No matter
serve
what,
a relationship very well, but it's a need.
no. And that's one of those, like, that is a need. And like, it is not the fault of whoever you're, like,
Mhm.
you should probably
Right.
not be in like monogamous relationships then. If that is
No.
truly a need, which, you get to decide what your needs are.
Right.
It doesn't mean everyone else is obligated to meet them, by the way.
That's right. We talked about the serial cheaters. That's a serial cheater right there. They just need to be needed, need to be wanted by as
Do
many
you,
people.
boo boo? Just do it over there, far away.
Right. Let your partner go at that
Mhm.
point, right? All right. You can and will have nervous system responses and trust issues, and most of that will be set off by micro triggers. We love the word micro here. We use it
Not
all
that
the
kind of
time.
micro for everyone listening. I know immediately as soon
Oh,
as Nina said that, you like micro. What?
oh, I didn't even think about that.
Let's be honest, ain't no one loving micro that.
Eh.
Okay, negative.
Okay, so what are some micro triggers that can set your trust
Now I can't stop.
again? I cannot. It's twice today with you.
Pigs in a blanket.
What are our micro triggers that can set us off
Ooh,
when
I
we
got
have a
one.
trust hangover? Oh, how about here? I've got tone.
Yeah, big one.
And I'll circle back to tone in a minute because that seems to come up with couples a lot, which is understandable, but that's tone. Phone usage. So a lot of things right now are breaking trust in terms of using the phone. So your phone usage can be a trigger. Being late to certain functions. Why were you late? Why didn't you tell me you were going to be late? Where were you? What's keeping you late? So those type of things. And then someone's attitude change. You're acting different. You're not acting the same. You're not acting the way you used to act with me. Those things can all be micro triggers for that trust hangover. It just sets off that feeling again.
Mine is I'll express something and I get, okay.
Oh, you don't like the okay even in a text? So don't try it in a verbal
Ooh.
conversation.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
like it. Or
Yeah.
this one, even worse.
What?
And there's a handful of people that
Okay.
have done this. I will preface it by saying they're all men.
Okay.
Because women, you fucking know better. No, I'm kidding. Okay, Kate.
Oh no, it's the okay. And
Oh, yeah.
sometimes when you get called by your
It's
name
like-
in a conversation by somebody, you're like, why? Like, you're like, okay, Nina, but, and then you're like, why'd you have to call my name out? Like, why?
You're like, this just took a swerve.
Seriously, you kind of like get your back and you're like, what? Like, why you gotta call my name?
You're like, I know my name.
Right?
You know my name.
We're
Why are
in
we saying it?
conversation. Why you gotta call my name out?
Are you trying to remind me who I is? Because now that you said that, I'm about to remind your ass who I is. Let me give you the what for.
Wars. But you know what one will get is like, well, that's your perception.
I'm sorry you feel that way. That's another.
Oh,
them's fighting
I'm sorry
words.
you took it that way. I'm sorry you took it that way. Let me tell you how I'm gonna take it. So I think those kind of go back to tone. Tone is so important because it will be the deciding factor of how something lands. Is your tone. If you are being questioned by your partner about something that they feel they have strong mistrust or feelings for, your responsive tone will set the bar for what happens next.
The tone will set the tone.
It really will.
Yeah.
And so how you approach something really matters. So keep that in mind. If there has been a trust issue, if there is kind of this trust hangover going on, your response needs to be understanding of these micro triggers. Understand this is left over from the trust issue, and then try to treat it as such with your tone.
Yep.
Now I can hear the feedback like, I what am I supposed to do this forever? I'm supposed to. No, it shouldn't last forever. And if it lasts forever, that's a different issue. But this is how you can deal with it after it occurs. After the trust issue and there has been the sense of forgiveness, but there's still these residuals, this is how you best handle it.
Yes. And take your triggers as information and data. No one's saying you have to put up with that shit. If you're like, listen, repeat it, it's been months and my nervous system just can't regulate, that's information. Now I got to decide, I got to do what's best for me. Do I want to stay in this thing? I've done some work. I've made my every effort. I've tried. And my nervous system is just like, no, girl, we done.
Yeah.
We not feeling it. Take it as information.
That's
like no one has to tolerate that and put up with that. And like, nope. no one's obligated to forgive anybody. But it's really, I think what you're saying is getting in touch with being aware of like when my nervous system
Yes.
goes off, when it is in a sustained state of activation.
Mhm.
And it's not, despite my best efforts, I'm not able to like
Yes.
deactivate because that's not good for you. And it's not good for whoever
Yep.
you're in a relationship with
A
either.
and you're not crazy at that point.
No.
You're conditioning yourself at that point. I
Yes.
am being conditioned now that this is how I react, and what you have to do, and to Kate's point about the data is, I just have to realize that I may not be getting over this. I may
Yep.
not be moving forward
Yeah.
from this. This might have been a defining factor in our relationship that I just don't seem to be able to get us back to where we need to be, and even though I didn't do the thing that started this, I may have to be the person that says, "I don't know that it's gonna work."
And sometimes we cognitively want to forgive, but our
Yeah,
nervous system
almost
says,
always.
nay, 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 nay. And then
Yeah.
they're like battling with each other.
Yeah. And your nervous system, when it reacts that way, is detecting a threat. So
Mm-hmm.
if your nervous system is reacting to these micro triggers, so it hears tone, or the person picked up their phone and they put it down real quick, or they turned it off real quick when you walked in the room, and your nervous system is just going crazy with anxiety now because it feels and it perceives that there has been a threat now. It says, I've seen this before. This is what got me upset the first time. And I think that there's clues that this is happening again. Again, could be true, may not be true, but you have to address that this is how I'm feeling in this relationship now.
Yeah. And really, I think when that happens, when we get like triggered, we want our partner who did the thing that
Mhm.
triggered us
Yeah.
to change their behavior. And then our brain says, then we will be untriggered. That's not how it
Mm-mm.
works. So, really, when that happens, regardless of what is causing the trigger, our job
Mhm.
personally is to learn a skill set of like actively and intentionally trying to deactivate and de escalate our nervous system's responses that are just going off like this all the
Yes.
time. That's really, and the good news is you don't need anyone else to do that. Like you might
Correct.
need a therapist to help
Mhm.
you give you some skill set or a workbook or something, but you don't need your partner necessarily to do
No.
that. You can learn to do the work of like, I'm going to regulate my nervous system. And if I'm doing all that work to what I was saying before, and I'm still like lighting up like a
Mhm.
Christmas tree and then I'm
Yep.
deactivating, I got to take a look at my relationship and be like, yo,
Yes.
what the hell? Like,
Right.
I know you're not doing this intentionally, but damn,
I'm
like,
still going off with this. Like, I
yeah,
can't seem
like
to move
I got to
forward.
figure out,
Yeah.
like, this is just like
Yeah.
incompatible. This might not be a
And
jams.
so there's to Kate's point, there's two ways to try to have a tip or a tool to cope with those particular things. So the first thing, if you're working through it as a couple, if you're like, no, my partner is still really invested and they really are trying to work through it, is when you get triggered, you have those micro triggers from either phone, you'll say the phone use, like they put their phone down. You, instead of allowing that nervous system to get out of control, what you do is you stop and you turn to your partner and you say, I really got triggered by you putting the phone down. I don't think you meant anything by it, but here's what it's making me feel like. It's making me feel like maybe there's something being hidden again, and it's making me really uncomfortable. How your partner reacts to that says a lot about your relationship. If your
Hmm.
partner says, "Oh my god, I was just looking at, the score from the game here. This is the last thing I was on. Like, I'm so sorry you feel that way. How can I work through this? How can I make you feel safe?"
Hmm.
Perfect. That's a great way to work through it, but you have to, for yourself, take a minute and call it out if you feel you're in a relationship with somebody who is able to join you in that conversation. If you're not, if you're working through this, you're like, I don't know that he would be able to do that. I think it would just set him off. I think that he would just start yelling or
Hmm.
say, this is my issue, not your issue.
Hmm.
All the things that happen when your relationship gets to that point. Then you quietly take a look at it and say, "Okay, is this a fact or a memory? Do I know for sure that he was doing something on his phone that he doesn't want me to see? No, I don't know that for sure, but I have a memory of when he did it before. And that memory is what's making me uncomfortable. It's not the situation in front of me right now. It's the memory. And am I working through that memory or can I not?"
Yeah. And it's like your partner can't help you heal from your
Hmm?
memories because your partner doesn't have the same memories. Even if you had the same
Absolutely
experience,
not.
they have a different memory than you.
Sorry, that is your perception.
Yes, and I am of the mind that we are responsible for our triggers. And so I think a lot of people, they're not actively like not responsible for their triggers. They don't really know what they are. And then we
Hmm.
outsource them to other people.
Yes.
So part of it is like noticing like when I'm triggered, what is causing the trigger? Is it a fact? Is it a memory?
Hmm.
And that can give you a sense of, is this something I need to express to my partner? Hey, I just want to let you know how that landed. Here's
Hmm.
how it impacted me.
Right.
Or is this oh, this is something I should probably have a conversation with my therapist or friend or whatever
Exactly.
journal about because this is
Yeah.
about a memory and it's a me thing.
Yeah. Last tip on that is, and we talked about this before, Kate brings this up a lot, which I loved. If you are being an FBI agent, if it starts you, if that micro trigger starts you down the
Don't
NCIS
do it.
pathway,
Put down the magnifying
stop,
glass.
right?
Don't
That
do
is
it.
nowhere good. If we can find anything we want to find, right? You can find it, right? We all know you can find it. You can dig until you get there. What's the point?
Why
If
are we
you're
doing
doing
that?
it, if that's what's happened, if I'm triggered all the time, so I am just down this rabbit hole, I'm pulling up his, Verizon bill. I'm going to see every place that he called, texted, everywhere he's been. I'm GPS and all the stuff. And what are we doing? Then we're not moving forward. We're not even in a trust hangover. We are like,
No, we are in active litigation, and this is
yeah,
evidence 40, defense evidence
yeah.
47B. Like,
And
what are
so
you
really
trying
you're
to win
stacking a
here?
case because you want to win. You feel somewhere in your brain you are
Mm-hmm.
committed that this is happening again.
Mm-hmm.
That whatever it was that I was upset about is happening again. And if I think it's happening again, I don't need to find the evidence. I
But
need to decide what I want to do.
yeah, and that is really when you start doing that, you're like convincing yourself, if I keep track of all the evidence, not it's not always like I'll catch them. Really, on some level, I'm like, I can prevent it.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
can
that's a
catch it
great point.
before it gets bad. Like, I don't need a phone log to see that.
Right.
I can just say, you know what?
Also, if I
Try
have
as I
to
might.
stop you from cheating, it's done. Like if I
I
gotta get there
never,
before, if
no.
I need to show up at the Motel 6 before you go in, this is done. This is over. Like if I did all that work to find out that you were gonna cheat, and then I just get there before you so you don't cheat,
What am I doing? I'm
this
getting
is
there
over.
and catching you.
Yeah,
You know you done wrong. You
right.
don't need
It's
me to
over.
tell you.
And then what am I gonna do the next time I'm not that in front of everything you do? And this happens in relationships. If we're honest, all the time, this does happen that you get into this sense of like, I'm going to find it. I'm going to look. I'm going to confront. I'm going to make sure he thinks he's going to talk to that girl. He's not talking to that girl anymore.
Yes,
If
he's just going to find a
if
different way to talk to that girl.
if
You have no control over that.
if you have to stop your partner from making decisions that will destroy your relationship,
You
stop,
doing too much.
stop, and just think
Do
about
less.
that. I have to get in front of him before he screws our relationship up.
Or she.
Yes, sorry. If you're working that hard, you're working too hard.
Stop doing. Don't give it a goog. Don't Google it.
Give it a
Don't.
goog.
No, don't do that.
That's right. All right, I got to get through. We're overtime
I'm
already.
sorry.
No. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Good. All right. So we've talked about all the ways in which it's going to like absolutely not work out well. So let's just end this on ways that you can actually get over the trust hangover in a positive way, and your relationship might be able to rebuild. In rebuilding trust, keep in mind up the G's don't rebuild trust. Patterns do. We talk about that over and over and over in all of our episodes. Almost is that your behaviors and your patterns, and here's the best part: the consistency of those efforts and patterns is what will help to rebuild the trust. Remember, we talked about you need weeks, months, maybe even a year or two to try to change things. But if there is pattern rebuilding happening there and consistency, trust rebuilds. And it actually rebuilds pretty quickly because it has evidence.
Yes. So pay attention to patterns, not promises.
Oh, girl, read that. Track consistency, not promises.
Patterns, not promises. I love an
We are on the
alliteration.
same.
I love it.
Two therapists, one brain. All right. And last, the resentment trap. When forgiveness is rushed, then resentment will build because we're not taking the time. And again, we're going to go back to those patterns. We're not allowing the patterns to prove to us that there is trust. And so if we don't allow that to happen, we'll get resentful really quick. You've got to allow the patterns to go through, build the trust. Otherwise, that resentment takes over, and then we're just angry all the time.
And sometimes just giving yourself a timeline, like give it a year of working on it.
Yes, really.
I give it a 6 months of working on it. Like doing something like that in your head so that then you're not forcing your partner to be in a place that they're not, and you're not forcing yourself to be in a place that you just are not. Right. You can say like, let's see what happens in X amount of time and we can revisit this.
Yes. And so the final tip, and that's exactly what the last tip is about, is the best way to rebuild trust is to have a consistent check-in. Your partner has to turn to you and you have to turn to your partner, and you have to say at certain points, how are we doing with this? How are we doing with, and whatever the trust rebuilding that's been happening, how are we doing with that? Am I making you feel safe? Where could I be communicating more or differently so that I am rebuilding this trust? And you check in with those things on a regular basis. And that's how the consistency stays on the mainstream. And one of the things you want to remember, especially with any relationship issue, is couples don't break up because they communicate too much. That's never a
It's
thing.
never
Yeah,
happened.
it's never a thing. So even if it's stuff that is uncomfortable, if we're talking about, this thing I did 2 weeks ago that really upset you, I'm gonna check in. How are you feeling about that? Like, do you feel that I'm rebuilding your trust? Do you think I could do or say anything better, differently? I could communicate in a different way to make you feel more safe. Those particular things will help rebuild the trust and get rid of that trust hangover.
And what also will rebuild the trust is that you both doing the work. So that person is trying to rebuild, but you're also doing the work of deactivating
Mhm.
yourself and regulating your triggers. And
Right.
powers combined, that's the best spot you
Yep.
can be in.
Yeah. All right, we good. Well,
I'm j-
that's me. I'm never gonna do it.
every time.
I'm never gonna do it. Yeah. All
We
right.
know my ass ain't doing it. So
You don't even want to mention the social media. It's like
hell
you couldn't
no.
get further away from that. All
Mm-mm.
right. So check us out on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, on our nearlynormalpodcast.com website. Please interact with us. Send us emails, send us topic ideas, anything that you want to share with us. We are there. And
Until next time, stay nearly normal.